All right. Let's get started. Today is October 30th, 2024. It is, of course, Wizard Wednesday, and it is, of course, a good day to join a cult. Channeling in from the Quantum Downs, this is the Black Goat of the Wood, Elf J Trul. And I've got some friends on stage with me.
Hello, it's the Orange Puppet Dotta. And up here we also have.
We've got Tad Major wondering where Mr. Bearsnake is. Good afternoon, everybody.
I see him in the audience. I don't know
Hey,
what's
there's
going
Yep.
Bear.
on.
Hey guys, sorry, there's some technical difficulties. What's up, guys? It's Bear.
Hey.
Hey guys, yes, the Quantum Shadow strikes again. I feel like the last 5 Wizard Wednesdays we've had trouble. I don't know what it is, but we got it started. So we're here, and we've got a few really hot topics to discuss today. We're going to talk about the Halloween event. We're going to have a few special guests on today. And maybe some cult questions. But first, I want to quickly acknowledge something really adorable that I've seen floating around Twitter in the last few days that has truly captured my heart. Have you guys seen the new Vatican mascot, Luce?
Luce! Oh, man.
I have not. You were talking about it earlier. I've been heads down. What the hell is it?
Vatican City, the church has a new mascot, and it's literally a little chibi anime character, and she's adorable. And I think everybody was just kind of shocked. Like, of all the mascots the Vatican could have chosen, a little blue-haired chibi anime girl is not what people would have expected. But I'm so glad they did.
You just have to add cute anime girls to your project, and you'll always have success. Even the Vatican recognizes it.
Matto, exactly. I knew you would get it. It's just funny because the Vatican is famous or even infamous for commissioning artists who are just. I mean, they're in art history books. They commissioned Michelangelo to do the Sistine Chapel. They commissioned Bernini, one of the greatest sculptors in world history, to do the Pietà and other amazing marble sculptures. And fast forward to the year 2024, and they've got Luce, the little chibi anime mascot. It's amazing. Art history is just incredible.
I mentioned. I was gonna say I mentioned in your tweets before, but they also they commissioned an anime for the Old Testament as well.
Yes, Tezuka did
In the 90s.
a graphic novel manga, right?
No, it was actually an anime.
Oh, was it?
It was an animation, I think. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, amazing. The cynical side of me wants to say, of course the church is doing this. This is how they spread their propaganda, aka their message. But it really says something about our culture that the art form they would choose today is again like a little chibi anime character. But I love it. I really do. I think it's just adorable, and that's the power of a character. It's interesting because like breakfast cereals do this, and practically every institution in Japan does this. And one of our guests today is going to talk about using a character to create their artwork. And of course, Forgotten Runes does that. We spread the message of our cult through characters. We build our world through characters. And now the Vatican is doing it, and it's just I don't know. There's a lot of like just really fun quantum synchronicity happening here, and I just think it's fun. Yeah. Look at Luce. Someone is sharing little Luce at the top, and I've been seeing a ton of like fan art and memes going around about Luce. And I gotta say, she is adorable. I love her little staff and her little rosary and her little raincoat. It's just it's amazing. I don't know if anyone else is having the same reaction that I am.
There's one question. Are you ready to convert?
I don't know if Luce's charm is enough to get me to convert, but
All right, we'll keep working on it.
Yeah, that's a good question, Dotta. that is the ostensible reason, I'm sure, that they got Luce in there in the first place. Sorry, Bear, what were you going to say?
No, you were talking about art history, and my daughter was just complaining to me about her art history class. So maybe we need to get on here, and you can tell her why it's so important.
Yeah, I would love that. Art history is definitely one of my favorite subjects.
I'll do it. Don't tempt me.
Okay. Next Wizard Wednesday, art history discovered
my
with Bear's
God.
daughter.
I don't even know if this is a good idea or not. It'll be entertaining, though.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, that was Luce. Besides Luce, guys, is there any other big event happening today?
I don't know. I can't really think of anything else. My brain has been seared with your semi-clothed warrior posts lately.
Oh yeah, let's be sure to pin that to the top.
Please, no. I had nightmares last night.
Yeah, no, it's the Halloween event, and today is the closing day of the Halloween event. And I think one thing to just acknowledge right off the top, Board, who I think is going to join us later, he said that this is, I can't remember how he said it. It's the most attended event that Edison has ever done.
I'll refine that statement.
Yeah, I think it's retention.
It's retention. It's retention.
That's
still amazing. Still amazing. No, it's the number. This is for all of Improbable, which powers all of Other Side, and they do stuff with like Major League Baseball. Has the best retention of anything that they've ever done, which is pretty cool.
It's really cool.
So thank you everybody for showing up. It's so cool to see the models. It's just really fun to see all the content on the timeline. There's like something that totally like gets me going when I see good looking, well lit Unreal Engine 3D, and this is that.
It's true. Yeah, I think I said in the Magic Machine Discord the other day that like 3D in all of its forms, whether it's just like from our 3D website or Nifty Island or an Edison event, it's really memeable. People screenshot it and share it a lot, and I think there's something in that. It makes me want to do a lot more 3D. And in fact, we are doing more 3D stuff. I'm going to tweet something tomorrow.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, I know what it is, and it's so awesome.
Yeah, something Frog and Waz and I have been working on for months. But it's really cool. But yeah, back to the Halloween event. So it had the highest retention of any Edison event ever. And it was, of course, the sort of debut event for our 3D Warriors. Wizards and Souls were, of course, in there as well. And Adam Hollander's Shadow Wizard was in there, which was really exciting to see him in there. Dotta, I think you ran into him, right?
Yep, it was amazing seeing his wispy little cloak floating around in the breeze.
Yep, very cool. And
let's get Jitsi up here also. Jitsi, if you can talk, you should come up, because Jitsi really played an awesome role in bringing some like sort of fun mechanics to it.
For sure, yeah. Jits, put it in a request, or I'll even invite you up. And yeah, I mean, it was. I really love working with the Edison team. Bear and I were on a space earlier today talking about this, but I'm going to repeat it here. What is so awesome about working with Edison is how unbelievably fast they work and how much quality they can pack into such a short amount of time. If you log into the event, and by the way, it's still up, you still have time to get in there. If you log in, you will notice just how incredible the graphics are, the lighting and the atmosphere and the fog and just the rendering. And it's just a really beautiful experience just to look at, for one. And then two, not only are they great artists, but they're really good game designers. Like they understand what it takes to make a good game. The Magic Machine team was able to just give them just a rough idea of what kind of game mechanics we'd like to see involved, and then the Edison team just ran with it and tweaked it where it needed to be tweaked. And yeah, I mean, not only that can they build a good-looking game, but a well-functioning game in such a short amount of time. So that's just really impressive. And then I think another big reason it was a success is a lot of people were collecting donuts. I was shocked at how many people were able to get all 100 donuts every day. Enchanter Orbis did it, I think, every day. There were a few Ronin people who were able to do it every day.
Dude, it's hard. It's really hard.
Dude, I was like able to find like 30 tops.
And
Yeah,
I
so
also realized after I was collecting a few that I'd been using the hover effect because I had like a presenter role.
Yeah.
And I was like, actually, maybe this is kind of cheating.
Yeah.
People aren't going to be happy about this.
And you were still only able to find what, like 20?
Yeah, definitely not 100.
I know day one, speaking of cheating, I know day one, like when it was so unbalanced, which by the way, we totally thought everybody was going to be a warrior, and it totally went wizards, which is really funny. It just goes to show that no one knows anything. But like, because it was so unbalanced, I basically grew myself really big and started collecting rocks, and then flying into the shards and then dropping down and like behind all the wizards and depositing. It was amazing.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I tried to go in as a giant naked man today to like boost team might, and I found that it actually didn't work because really, if you're a giant, you're just a bigger target. So, but yeah, I mean,
and the aim was kind of off too. When you're really big, it was hard.
Yes, exactly. Yep. But yeah, I think that's the one thing we could have maybe improved upon was just balancing better. But like Bear said, it's like we really thought that Team Warrior would be much bigger because it's like the Warrior event or the debut. But that's just the sort of thing that you really only learn by play testing, and we had virtually no play test time. But despite of all that, I think it was just a really fun event. I actually had a lot of fun playing it. I don't know about you guys.
Dude, I had a freaking blast. Oh, go ahead, man.
I've been playing and I've collected over 90 donuts for every day so far. I always forget. I always get like the last like 2 or 3 that I can't find, but that's fine. I'll settle for that.
Hello.
Oh, we got Jitsi up here. Jits, what up?
Hey, can you guys hear me? It shows me as listeners still, but is my mic on?
Are you lifting weights right now?
Yeah, I'm currently in my in my garage with my squat rack and weights, if you can call it a gym. Yeah, but you guys are talking about the event, and I thought it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it a lot. There's a lot of conversation prior. I think it was really fun to see people collecting the donuts, and I just assume it was so game for putting in more than I thought they were going to, and making it much more like a jump puzzle. People have heard me say it on the team, and I think there's really fun moments within jump puzzles and just like moving around with WASD, and they were able to create that. So, I mean, it was just a pleasure. I think everybody knew kind of like what this was going into it and was able to show off the 3D models, but people were playing. I mean, the first hour was chaos. We guessed that one, but I mean, I really enjoyed people going around taking screenshots of 3D models and like collecting all 100 each day, like the completionist, right? Like really fun to see. So it was fun. It was enjoyable.
Yeah, was anybody here able to complete the tower challenge on the side?
Yes.
You did it, Jitsi?
Yeah, both of them. They're really fun. I very much enjoy those puzzles. Like outside of all the chaos, it's just you and a keyboard and being able to jump up correctly. It's really cool. There's a lot of donuts up top there. I think there was like 7 in each or something. It was enjoyable.
Yeah, there's donuts along the way, and then there's donuts that are like on the top, and then also they give you a really good vantage point of like just kind of looking through the map and seeing if there's any like donuts that are scattered around that you haven't collected yet. And also like just in general, like where all the chaos is, if there's like a fight that you want to jump into.
Nice. Yeah, I myself was not able to complete the tower challenges, but it was really cool that Edison put those in there. Like, again, that's why it's awesome working with Edison. Like, we didn't even ask them to do that, and you know, I think they love what they're doing, and that's why you know, they put their own little surprises in there. And that was a really nice touch, I thought. But yeah, you know, I really hope we do another one with them sooner or later. And Jitsi, how about you design the next one? What do you think?
Sounds fun. Always down.
All right, all right. But yeah,
I think my favorite part was when you jump down into the hole and then you fly to the mountain. It's just so cool.
yes, yeah,
Such a good moment.
yeah. I always want to screen grab that section.
I
It's super
I took
enjoyable.
probably 10 different screen grabs of me flying into the island. Yeah, because that was the one thing I could always count on. I was going to get offed, and then I would have to fly back in. So I had a lot of opportunities. Maybe that's why I got all the screen grabs.
There was a moment when we were playtesting the very first time, and they had that moment where you jump off and go towards the mountain, and like I instantly thought of Disneyland, and when you take the train to go into Disneyland, right? Like from the rip, you have this like adventure in front of you. It was just like saying so much for me when I was jumping in the air, going towards the mountain in real time. That was fun.
Yep, yep. Very cool. Dota and Bear, are you guys currently in the game right now?
I'm not this second, but I'm gonna hop in towards the end of Wizard Wednesday for sure.
I'm in right
Okay.
now. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, everybody here, like, you can still jump in. You can get a selfie with Bear and Dota. I myself am not going to jump in because I got to host a show. But actually, Jitsi said something interesting yesterday. Next time we do these, we should have more like selfie stations, for lack of a better term. Because that's what everybody wants to do. You know, you want to take a photo of yourself, and you might as well put some really picturesque scenes in the game just for that. You know, I mean, this game definitely does have that, but the problem is if you stand there too long, you're going to get an axe to the face. So they should have like no combat zones that are very picturesque.
Yeah, the exploring of this map was like super enjoyable, I thought. Like and having like Easter eggs or spots that you could even have like a little competition on the side with it, right? Like get who has the best, you know, camera shots or whatever. But you know, there's like a lot of games in the last 7 years or so that have these, you know, these beautiful worlds where you go to like this bird's eye view of it, and it's like you get an achievement for taking a screenshot there. I thought that was super fun because we saw it across Twitter the first day, like pretty consistently, especially with all the models, right?
Yep. Yep, definitely. And you know,
I actually use the bridge. Oh,
yeah, I
can
can
you
hear
guys
you.
hear me? I'm
Yep.
kind of spotty. I use it. I use that bridge like a runway, and I modeled like 15 different characters. The light was so cool; you could get shadow or light, and no, just the whole setup was so great to just kind of like check out all the models in lots of different positions and poses, and yeah, I could do with 100 different selfie stands. That's much more up my alley than any of the. I think I might have actually killed one person through the entire round of playing, and it was by accident. So I was definitely just fleeing constantly and taking screenshots, chasing down donuts. But man, it's such a good event. It was really, really fun.
Yeah, yeah. I find that like the emotes, like the dancing and the waving and all that stuff, that stuff really is pretty important. You know, because it helps your screenshots and your videos, and it's just
Oh, we
fun.
know based on your post.
Based on my post, yeah, that's all I wanted to do was just record myself dancing. I'm like a teenage TikToker.
Why are you always half naked in them though? That's what I'm wondering.
Well, I mean, I don't know, Barrett. Don't you think, given the choice between fully clothed and fully naked dancing, wouldn't you opt for naked dancing every time?
That is fair.
Yeah.
But while you were talking, I realized who I should be playing as. Could you take a guess what warrior I should be playing as?
Business bear?
No.
Oh no. The goblin that wields Excalibur that you won in an arm wrestling contest.
Dude, I am totally going to. I should have been doing it this entire time.
One of these days, Bear, I will take that goblin back.
There's zero chance. By the way, Jitsi's pressing weights over there. Let's see. He might be in the running.
Dude, okay, side quest. I have realized that basically everybody on the Magic Machine team is just stacked these days.
It's true. It's true. Dota's looking really fit. We got on the phone every once in a while. Waz will turn on his camera. Dude
Yeah.
is yoked.
Dude, if your
Yes.
founders aren't lifting weights and taking peptides, what are you even doing?
Yeah, every time I'm in video call with anybody from Magic Machine, they always have like a giant jar of creatine on their table. And I ask them, why you just have it there readily available? And it's just like,
Here we go with the creatine talk.
Dude, the best part of Singapore was I get there, I'm like taking meetings, and I meet up with Kalos, who is the CEO of Parallel. We're hanging out. And then I'm like going to bed that night, and I'm like scrolling through Twitter, and he's like, day one recap. The first thing was met Bearsnake, and he's jacked. I was like, yes! I was shocked, and I almost forwarded it to you, Elf.
No, but like for real, like Waz looks like a bodybuilder every time we see him on Zoom. Nalgene posts videos of climbing with like just straight up using his arms, no legs. Frog Eater is like 6'3", I think, maybe even taller. Niski, as we know, is literally Thor of Magic Machine. Bear, I know you've got back problems these days, so you might.
Wow.
Still
Wow.
intimidating.
And any shot. Dude, it's
But
never
in
No,
your
go ahead.
heyday, you could have stopped at least 2 coffee shop robbers.
2 coffee shop robbers. Two.
Man, okay, sorry. Bear, have you ever told the coffee shop robber story on Wizard Wednesday?
I did years ago, I think.
More
Or maybe
than once.
it actually might have been on Cosmic's Cosmic Space.
Okay,
Mm.
should you tell
We
it
don't
again? Like, I know we're getting really sidetracked, but I kind of want to hear the story.
if there's time at the end, maybe.
Yeah, the Book of Lore.
Okay.
You know, yeah, I really should just write in the book of lore,
Yeah.
and then I'm just like reading from it. That honestly, maybe I just do that.
Okay, I like that. Okay, yeah, back to Halloween. Dancing. Yeah, the dancing is fun, and like every time we jump into these metaverses, whether it's Edison or Nifty Island or on Cyber or any of the others, I'm starting to realize like the features that are really important for metaverse experiences, and obviously like being able to use and own the skin of your player character, that's very important. I think the emotes are very important. I think like screen grabability is very important. And then the whole interoperability idea is still, I think, critical because not only did we see Wizards and Warriors and Souls in this event, I saw a few apes. I saw I'm so sad. I forgot the name. The one with like the dentures, the teeth. What is that
Yeah.
called?
Oh, I
Grills
can't.
Gang.
Grills
Grills Gang. Yes.
Yeah, that's creative. Yeah, creative directors project, I think.
Exactly. Yep. I saw those guys in there. But what's funny is I didn't see a ton of others because a lot of other projects don't even have 3D models. But it's we've been saying it for years. Like if you want to have a metaverse strategy, you got to get the 3D character rigs. But yeah.
Speaking of that, I forget what post it was. I think I reposted. One of my favorite posts was someone talking about like interoperability, and it was a post of them playing as their pixel wizard in Runiverse, and then them playing as their 3D wizard in the event. And I just thought that was so cool. It's like finally happening. It's actually finally happening.
Dude, I love that. I want to see that post. We should retweet that. That's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know we worked really hard on getting like Adam Hollander's Shadow Hat Wizard in 3D and in the Runiverse game. In addition to all other characters, the Wizards are certainly in the Runiverse game. The Warriors and Souls are in production. But yeah, it's crucial. Okay. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and bring up our first guest. Speaking of characters. Oh, no, wait. Board. Board is here. Board. Hello, buddy.
Did you guys figure it all out?
We figured all of it out. But Board, I want you to tell me again, like there was a really impressive metric about attendance that you mentioned today. Can you shine some light on that?
Yeah. So, okay. Edison is a joint venture with a company called Improbable. Improbable built this tech stack that basically takes the Unreal Engine, but adds a layer that allows you to host mass concurrency events. So think of any game, but with like 10,000 people all in the same space with spatial audio, all that stuff. And we found out this morning that of everything that has kind of run on top of this Improbable tech stack, which includes Major League Baseball and other Web3 projects, Might and Magic has had the highest player retention of any game ever in the history of their company in 10 years. So pretty awesome.
Dude, that is really awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm tempted to like speculate like how that happened. What do you think? Why was this one was such a success with retention?
I mean, obviously your charming personality, inviting people to join.
That's it. There it is.
Yeah, I I think that it's just a really sticky game mode. I think part of it is, we treated this less like a short event for say 30 or 60 minutes, and we're doing this thing for 3 days. So it lets people come in from all over the world when they're available. I think that's really important. And by the way, there's like a ton of people in world right now. There's a raid going on, and I got to tell you, the Warriors are making a comeback. So
nice.
And I think that's an example. Like a lot of them right now are speaking a language that I don't know, and that's okay. People are waking up in XYZ country,
Yep.
and taking advantage. But yeah, I mean, I think like I've talked to a lot of people behind the scenes and asked them, what do you like most about this particular game? And they're like, it's the vibe, right? It's the environment. It just feels cool to run around. Plus, I can do all these different activities. So I think with any kind of art, whether it's movies, games, books, etc., you try to be prolific, you try different things, and certain things stick. And I think this particular build, it just stuck. So I think we got something special, and obviously nothing's perfect, but clearly the numbers don't lie. Like people are enjoying sticking around. They're not just showing up to like collect stuff and get rewarded. Like people are genuinely playing for hours because they're enjoying it.
Yeah, Board. I have a theory, and tell me if you guys have done this before. But what I thought was really sort of novel about this particular event was that every player there was two simultaneous game modes happening, meaning you could simultaneously collect donuts for yourself, but then collect moon rocks for your team, and that was happening at the same time. So it gave every player like sort of a dual mission as they were playing. Have you done that model before, or is that new?
I think this is really the first time there have been substantial like multiple game modes at the same time. Yeah, because we've done sort of the treasure hunt game. We've done compete against other people, at the same time. But in a way, I feel like this is three game modes. You've got the PvP battling, right, which is just fun to see how long you can survive. You've got the collecting aspect of it, and then even on your own team, you're competing against your own teammates to collect as many shards or rocks as you can. So I think that's good. Like that could go the other way, right? If you play a game and there's just too many things going on, you're like, I don't even know what to do. But in this case, I think, depending on the type of player you are, you can find something that resonates with you and then spend a bunch of time doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I imagine like, maybe there were some warriors in there who, would look at the team score and just think, okay, there's no way I can get my team to catch up, but I'm not going to quit because at least I can collect donuts for myself. So, you could play sort of however you wanted.
That was, and that, I think that came from you, Jitsi, right? He's squatting right now. He probably can't talk.
But yeah,
but no, I thought that was really, like, because when there's so many people, you can't, it's really hard to like play through the loop. So yeah, I enjoyed just running around getting the donuts.
Yep. And speaking of donuts, The game is the event is going to end today, but you will not see your collected donuts reflected in your donut account immediately. It's going to take us a few days to get all that information together. Board or Dota, do you guys want to speak to that just for a minute?
It'll just take a week or two, and then we'll have them in before the close of season 1.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah, what I will say is in terms of donuts specifically, if you check your collection on edison.wtf and click on your profile, you can see how many donuts you've collected, right? So you won't necessarily see how many donuts you're getting from team wins or individual wins, but there were 300 total donuts to collect over the 3 days, so you can see what your numbers are there in your collection.
Board, can you believe there were literally a handful of players out there that got all 100 on every 3 days?
I didn't think they would do it. I thought we'd get like 98, 99. I was a real bastard about hiding some of those, and they got them. They got them. So kudos. I mean, there might have been some sharing of information. Somebody figured it out and they told their friends, but that's expected. It happens.
Yeah,
the first
that's what I love about online gaming, though, is like the side channel communication and teamwork and cooperation. Like if you were doing that to find donuts, then you were doing it right.
Yeah, well deserved for sure. But yeah, I mean, there's 7 hours and 24 minutes left in playtime today, so it's not too late. I mean, there's a big comeback on the Warrior side, and whether you care about the team battle or not, if you haven't gotten all 100 donuts for the day, you've got 7 hours to do it. I think we all might maybe come hang out a little bit later tonight as things get closed up. See where things are at, do a little trash talking.
I love that. Hell yeah. Yeah, Board, we were talking before you came in, or I was saying how much I love just the little dancing emote. I think the very next feature you need to prioritize is like 10 more dances. It's just
certainly booty shaking, right? For Bearsnake.
Yeah. It's just like such memeable content. I found myself just only wanting to post dance videos. But yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah, we definitely want to add stuff like that, like accessories, skins. I mean, honestly, we've been just building a lot of these modes out and haven't been, selling upgrades or like battle passes or anything like that. But this is the kind of stuff that we definitely are looking at doing next year as people are getting, more involved in the ecosystem. So I'm gonna start working on a Bearsnake official booty dance emote for all characters to be able to add to their collection.
Yeah, and
let's go.
Board, one other thing, and we were saying this before you got on here, like, with every little like metaverse experience I come across, I'm like slowly learning what's important to make a good metaverse experience. And it's things like being able to share screen grabs and videos. I think emotes are very important. Character skins that you own are, of course, very important. Interoperability. But you do this every day. What are some things that you're seeing that's just really important for a metaverse experience?
Yeah, I mean, all the things you mentioned definitely important. I think that's something that lacks in games, right? Like you are trapped using the clothing and the wardrobe that is given to you. Like maybe you can customize it a little bit, but you can't really take it everywhere with you. Whereas, in a lot of these metaverse experiences, you've seen like people have played as apes, they've played as their wizards, their warriors, as Grill's gang, and that really should be like at its core, what every metaverse does is like you can bring the clothes that you want to wear to it. And then besides that, I think for me at least, it should feel like a city. It should feel like a neighborhood. And most games you play, there's 50 people around you, there's 100 people around you, and that's cool and that's fun. But I want to do stuff where I can have 1,000 people or 50,000 people around me, and it feels like a festival or a concert. And I think that's like such a key differentiator between a video game and the metaverse. The metaverse is kind of like, what if social media and a video game were together? That's what this should feel like, and that's a little bit of a squishy concept, but I think that's what we should be building towards, and that's certainly what we're thinking a lot about.
Very cool.
Yeah. Just one more thing to give Board you some flowers, as the kids say. What I love about it is, and we've now done this twice with you, what you guys are doing, you're just lowering the barrier of entry for people to create in what has been like a really like closed loop, right? Up until now, it's been so difficult to like build an Unreal Engine space, and the fact that we can start talking, and within last year we did it in 30 days. Sorry, I just robbed a bank. The cops are coming after me. Well, we did it in 30 days last year, and I think we did it maybe in like 45, 60 days this year. And to be able just to, I'm still so impressed that we can spin something up like this and just have it be at the level it's at. So I appreciate you. Like this is like we build the models, right? But we still like a crucial element to like to the whole thing is having people like you and Edison like building the tools for us to plug into. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no, I mean, you guys have been awesome to work with, and it's cool that you actually had the foresight to build 3D models for all your characters, because there's not a lot of, collections or projects that have done that. Like, honestly, when we first talked about it last year before Halloween, and you're like, oh yeah, we've got thousands and thousands of these models, and we're looking to do more stuff with it. I was like, wow, that's so rare. That's amazing. Let's do something together. But yeah, I mean, I think with this space, there's a lot of people who they want to have a game, right? They want to put out a game, and they don't necessarily have the capacity or the experience to just build their own studio. And that's where we can come in and be like, hey, we've got this expertise. You don't have to go and spend 2 or 3 years like building a studio in your own game. Like, let's do these lightweight experiences that are, they feel familiar. They feel like games you've played before. They're not Candy Crush, right? Like super casual games, and they're also not Call of Duty, where it costs $500 million to make them. It's somewhere in the middle, and I think that's kind of like blue ocean. I think there's a lot of people who need that, and hopefully we can serve that role and make some money along the way.
Well, we're excited to do more with you guys.
Yeah, likewise, and this was honestly for me like a flagship event. I think this is my favorite thing that we've ever built together. You guys have. I said this to Elf on an earlier space, but like you guys have such a strong IP and lore. It was an honor to be able to take what you guys have built and be able to play with that and turn it into something cool that helps grow both of our communities.
I still remember how. Do you remember how we met, Board?
No.
All right, I'll remember.
I don't remember actually.
So I was reply guying you, and I was like shilling wizards as I always do. And I think I shared the map elf that you made for Runiverse, like the original one. And you were like, I love maps. And and from there, I think like a week later, we were having lunch across the street from my office. That was I remember that very clearly.
That tracks. Yeah, no, I remember the lunch very vividly, and the maps thing tracks. That's so funny. And look at us now.
I was.
Together.
I'll be honest. I was a little disappointed. Part of me wanted you to actually be Elon, but I still love you just as much.
I'm almost as accomplished as real Elon. But yes, the reason the pseudonymity continues is because I'm far more interesting as a hidden character. And now I have Eddie. Eddie is like my side character. Eddie is basically like Bearsnake. You've met me enough now. I'm like a pretty nice guy, not a dick. Eddie is basically my cosplaying like a Ari Gold asshole.
I love it.
we can debate if you're a nice guy or not. We can debate that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh.
By the way, I am playing while we're talking, so sorry if I'm like grunting and making weird noises.
It's okay. Very cool. Yeah, Board, I just have one question for you, and it's actually from our community, VMark in our community. He shared a screen grab of in one of the towers, there's like a giant skull, and he wants to know who the skull is. Is it did you surely you didn't kill someone just to decorate the game?
Yeah, it's hard to make your own 3D model, so the easiest option is to take a photograph of a real object. So basically found a a straggler in East LA murdered him, skinned the body, and then used the skull.
Okay,
For,
now that's the Eddie
modeling
character
purposes.
talking, right?
Yes, of course. That's complete fiction. Wouldn't
Yeah.
dare do that. But you know what's cool is like this is just like a nerdy thing, but for people who just care about how these games are built, like there's so many 3D objects that have been developed and are available on marketplaces. So like it's not necessarily like I have to design all this stuff from scratch. You can just buy skulls and trees and cars and whatever, and then assemble them into a game in your own vision, and then add mechanics to them. So it's kind of like playing with Legos now. And I will say, like, if you're a hobbyist, if you've been playing around in Unreal Engine for a few years and don't necessarily have like enough resources to do stuff on your own, like build a whole game, like we can give you access to our platform and you can mess around and build stuff. And who knows, like maybe you'll create something really cool and we can make that part of the Edison universe as well. So hit me up in the DMs if you'd like to explore.
Awesome. Okay. Well, yeah, Board. It was really great having you on. I'm so glad the game was such a success. I had a lot of fun. There were just so many little moments and things that went right. That just really came together in the last few days, and I really can't wait to do another one.
Yeah, likewise. One thing I will say, if we end up doing this game mode again, the really easy fix for the team balancing thing, I think I'm going to pitch this to you guys live, is basically if you're a wizard or actually, let me rephrase that. We're just going to have like colors for teams. You're on the blue team, you're on the red team, and then basically anyone from any collection can join, and we will just auto assign you to a team. And then it'll be 50-50. That's my suggestion to you guys. You can fight me on it, but I think that's going to be the winning strategy.
Yep, that's probably right.
No, I like it too. I really wanted to do the whole might versus magic dynamic, just because it was the Warrior debut. But now that battle is coming to an end, yeah, there's definitely new ways we can draw up the teams.
I also think you guys gotta rile up those warriors and get them excited. Give them some love.
Yeah, they're gonna come back with a vengeance. So it's all part of the lore.
Let's
cool.
go to guest.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Board. But yeah, we actually have another guest scheduled today. I think a lot of the cult will recognize Nigelia, who has actually been in the cult for, I would say, years.
Long time.
Yes. And Nigelia, welcome to Wizard Wednesday.
Hey everyone. Yes, I think it's been too long, but I've always said like this is the one group in the space, especially starting early 2020, 2021, that I said they're going to be one of the face fronts of Web3 when it comes to gaming. I remember there was also a period that people didn't believe in where the gaming was going in this space, and I'm glad like you guys really took your time. And then some people, there were so many doubters as well, and I'm like, no, these guys are the real deal. But that's just because I'm a big RPG stan. I love Final Fantasy. I love even the pixels of where they started, and the fact you guys went that direction made me hyped. And I also love 3D, so it's like this really cool universe of both worlds. And it also inspires me as an artist too.
Perfect. I love it. Yeah, Nigelia, you've been one of my favorite cult members for the past few years, and I think a lot of people share that opinion. And I mentioned at the start of the show how the Vatican is using characters to sort of spread their message, and of course, Forgotten Runes uses characters to spread their message, and it's a thing that people have been doing for a long time. And you, as part of your own art journey, you've got your own character as well, and you've got a project around this character. So yeah, do you want to tell us about it?
Yeah, for sure. So I have a character named Alzena. I actually began creating her, and this was probably right before 2020. So it was during my master's degree program when I was in Northumbria in Northern England. And basically, I didn't really want to do frame by frame animation. And ironically, my housemate was a computer science major, and he had a whole PC, and one of his family members gifted him a VR headset that he never used. So I decided, like, can I please use it since you won't use it? And I discovered that you could paint in 3D and animate and record in this app. At the time, it was called Tilt Brush, owned by Google, and then they open sourced it, and now it became Open Brush. And there was also tools like Gravity Sketch, where you could basically build 3D models and eventually like add some animation to create something cool. So at the time, me being an artist passionate about fantasy and futurism, and eventually became really interested and grown to the Afrofuturistic realm. So like I was to say, like similar to sci-fi, similar to what Black Panther has done, but like a different lane, like really exploring what does Afrofuturism mean in fantasy and in different genres. And when I had the VR headset, I was able to develop this character called Alzena, who's like an Afrofuturistic spirit that creates life and builds an imaginary world. And with the VR headset, I painted and like basically painted every scene, like, and then frame by frame recorded it to make it feel like you were going through a journey. I wanted to almost like make an Afrofuturistic VR experience that had that Disney effect where, you start from beginning to end, and it's almost like the gift shop ending where like, okay, now you see all the still of the artworks and how I was able to like make this film come to life. And, with Alzena going also into the pandemic period, I was like working from home just to try to save up money. And I don't think people knew what was going to happen in the world either. So once I discovered like NFTs and Clubhouse, and then, at the time I did have some money to enter into OpenSea at the period where OpenSea was really like about that life to get everyone noticed and seen in that way. I decided to go back to drawing Alzena. I was like, hey, I've always had this character. At first, she was like very flat and abstract. And over time, I just kept sort of developing her look and feel. As an artist, I'm also, very, like I said, very inspired by Final Fantasy and how they're very passionate about different cultures coming together for greater purpose. So I wanted her to really have these sort of ethereal features, but also more importantly, having a very expressive personality. And yeah, just every time throughout the years since 2021, just been building like different projects, released her on OpenSea as a collection, end up selling out, released her on Tezos as like a villainous arc to sort of have these really glitch expressive pieces that end up doing well. And then kind of started bringing her on the L2 chains. And now today is the launch of the Alzenaverse collection, which I partnered with Rarible and Base for the drop. And it's pretty much geared around the Halloween time. And that's when I did my first Alzena piece. So it's really like an anniversary drop, but also syncing to like Halloween time. So when you mint a magical potion, you can claim it for an artwork on Halloween. And it's one of many variations that I've made. So it's randomized. It's a fun project, and it's a start of kind of exploring this new way of using L2s to elevate art, but also like the storytelling aspects. So each art piece also comes with its own like little written lore about the Halloween moment in that picture frame.
I love it. I love everything you just said. I love hearing your journey and the development of Alzena, the character. And I have certainly been following your development with this character. I think I bought a piece like maybe a year or two ago that I think you launched on OpenSea with her. And I've noticed like her character design has evolved a little bit through the months and years. And I just love that you're sticking with her. Using a character as a medium itself to as through artistic expression is it's just a really fun and interesting concept. And yeah, I minted 4 of your potions today.
Woo! Thank you.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Thank you.
Can you pin it to the top? I was looking for the proper tweet, but I feel like I'm going to do the wrong one. But yeah,
Let me I'll go to Base's page because it's funny. There was already one account that tried to make a fake account. I was like, already, guys?
happens every time.
Like it just happens every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, here is the main thing so everyone can see it.
Yeah, and what I really love, I spoke to Najilia earlier today. One thing I really love about it is that it's on Rarible, and the reason I love that is because for all the artists in the audience, I think it was 2021 when the NFT market just really heated up and got started, and it was like a brand new thing for all these digital artists to like make an NFT. It was just like a renaissance, and Rarible was the first place for me, and I think a lot of artists uh, to start creating NFTs, because I certainly didn't know how to do my own smart contract. And Rarible was just such a great community and a great tool. It was just a really thriving NFT community in the very beginning, and I'll never forget Rarible. uh, I'll always appreciate what they did for like the NFT space in the very beginning. It wasn't like Super Rare where you had to apply and be accepted. It was open to everyone. And I just loved it. I'll never forget my days on Rarible. So I'm really happy to see that they're still going. And I've looked at the site and it looks like they've done a lot of development, and they're still building. But yeah, Najilia, why Rarible? Why not like Tezos or any other of the, or I mean Object or any of the other platforms?
I think for me personally, it's about like which team is going to assist with my vision, but also have the same passion for that vision. And I think the way Rarible has, and I agree with you. Looking back, like yeah, it was mainly OpenSea and Rarible being like the pure and true supporting marketplaces for artists. But at the same time, I think over time, I've really loved how Rarible has focused on the tech side of things and has geared and rebranded, restructured, and like me personally, this is one of the best teams I've worked with to help this vision come to life. And they've been so awesome to like tell my story with and want to have this art, evolve the best way possible, and also, strategies and ways that art can be like gamified. Cause that's to me was important. Like the potion
Yep.
idea, we were developing it for like maybe 2 months, just trying to go back and forth on what we think could work best as an opportunity. And for me, I was like, well, I like what Rarible is doing and the partnerships they've built and kind of how art has been, elevating on there. Especially there have been like a lot of gamified drops there too. They've been collaborating, partnering with a lot of game companies, specifically through like artists making art for the game company. So I really enjoyed that. So for me, I was like, okay, how do we make like this like sort of multiverse of Alzena, but through like an activation? And I thought of potions because I think potions are awesome. Who doesn't like a really cool glitched GIF potion? And so
Yeah.
like I like, we pretty much illustrated and animated to make it look like a really cool, like unique object that you don't know what you're getting when you're claiming it. So it has this like element of like collecting this cool pixel item, but then you're going to get like a really immersive glitch portrait of an Alzena like character design. So for me, I wanted to like really bridge those two things together, but also, what's really going to appeal to this community on the Web3 space, but still holds true to me as an artist. And I really love what Rarible has brought to that, and I'm grateful that they wanted to work with me on this project.
That's fantastic. Okay, I'm going to ask you one final question, and it's going to be a spicy question.
Yeah, go
and,
ahead.
and, and and I've got my own take on this, but like a lot of the crypto sentiment, I see the phrase NFTs are dead. What do you think when you hear that phrase?
um Sometimes I wait to hear that, then I know a pump is coming. So maybe it's like if we speak negative enough, things go to positive.
Yeah.
But um, I also think that we're entering a new era of what on chain means. That's what we've been really focused on, actually. Like alongside being the artist, I'm also like head of media for Ain't Curated. They're also in the crowd too here, and we're constantly looking at what preserving culture on chain means. And even for me as an artist, like how do I want my art on chain to exist and to interact with other people? And I think when it comes to like the term NFT, I feel like it's kind of going through a rebrand and how we structure that language around NFT. And for me personally, I think it's not necessarily NFTs are dead. I think NFTs are evolving into something else. You know, like we can't like kind of stick to the term that existed in 2020, 2021. It kind of has to evolve into the next best thing. And even what your guys are doing at Forgotten Runes, I feel like it's like evolving that itself, like just what that's going to mean for ownership, what's that going to mean for IP. And that's what I love about you guys. You are way ahead of the IP game, and that's what I think NFTs is going to translate into, is like IP and creative ownership.
Yeah, I fully agree. It's this sort of evolution, this transition that I think we're going to see with NFTs. It's, I like this again. This is why I loved Rarible, because in that very first beginning, it was just a bunch of artists just having fun creating stuff. It was just pure creative fun. And then it quickly shifted into this like whole financial speculative thing. Um, and I'm gonna blame the PFPs on that, even though I'm a like NFT PFP founder. But yeah, it was this whole like speculative bubble, and that I guess you could say maybe that popped, but I think it's gonna come back to just an expression of culture, and people will see NFTs for what they really should be, or what they were in the first place, which is just art. It's just digital art. It's and it's culture.
I've been thinking a lot about that too from the building angle, right? As we kind of see like the moment that we've had over the last 4 or 5 months is just all that anybody wants out of crypto is speculation. And you see this kind of nihilism coming from anybody who's trying to build something real, not only in the NFT space, but also from DeFi and like almost every other industry, like sector of crypto. The people who are building are just kind of like lamenting that they work and work and work, and then a pure meme coin will reach 100, 200, 500 million value expressly because it has no utility, right? If utility is added, all of a sudden that creates execution risk, which is bearish, right? And so you kind of lament and be like, look, is that all we're doing here? Is that all anybody wanted? Pure speculation? Is that really the point of what we're doing here? And the answer is really no. Like it's a phase. I think that of course people will always want speculative value, but part of the reason why I got into crypto was because I was looking to um there's this idea around like designing new incentive systems, is that you have crypto as a way to kind of reward people for like coordinating behaviors in ways that couldn't have been done before. And so, a lot of what you guys are talking about is this idea around like preserving culture through like expression of creative art. I think for me, what I want to be able to do is like help like monetize this kind of art and like build a system where people have the right incentives that they can justify to like being creative, more than what you've ever seen before in the last, let's say, 30 years, because it's only been like huge companies that are able to afford people to like do their artwork. And so I think, yeah, I'm excited to see us move kind of through this phase of just pure speculation and kind of returning a little bit to some of the original ideas, where it's like art for art's sake. We're making something beautiful that we love. We're building these like incentive systems to help people coordinate. And um, I don't think NFTs are dead at all. We're just getting started.
Exactly. Love it. Well, Najilia, thanks for coming up. I'm so glad you did. I'm so glad you reached out. And, I just want to say to everyone here, everyone in the cult, like if you've got your own individual projects and you want to come up and talk about them, the mic is yours. Like, this is part of what it means to be in a creative cult. If you've got your own individual creative projects and you want to share it with everyone, like, please feel free. This is what it's all about. It doesn't always necessarily have to be Forgotten Runes related. We support all creativity in our community. But yeah, Najilia, thank you so much. And everybody, go mint a potion. They're honestly really cheap. They're like under $5. So you could, it's like we were talking earlier. Like NFTs, the whole speculation kind of skewed the entire purpose. And I'd love to get back to where it's just a bunch of creative people just having fun trading artwork, and you don't always have to sell everything for like $5,000. So, but yeah, Najilia, thank you.
No, thank you so much for having me. And I, again, like really love what you guys do. And you're always supporting creatives. You're always about the art 24/7, 365. And plus, actually, time doesn't really exist. So we can say you guys are infinite when it comes to that.
That's right.
But yeah, it's no, for real. Like, because out of all communities, I swear, like Forgotten Runes is like the best community because you guys stay true to what you want to be. And you're always like thinking one step ahead of what people may not be doing, but also, what's really going to click to humans. Because, humans don't change, in 4 years
Yep.
when it comes to this space. Yeah, we know things change here, but on the outside, everything's it's so much slower to know what's happening here, but for us it's so quick. So
Yep.
that's why I think, like, but what's always going to be consistent is the art. So that's why I'm like, mint potions, have fun, and guess what, you're getting art. And that's
Right.
kind of what I want to bring that energy back, is like this really fun factor of creative storytelling and character building, especially like the characters I'm creating have like different diverse and multicultural perspective. So it's going to be really fun to continue growing Alzana's world.
Fantastic. And Najilia, Zayla Sola is asking if you can share the link in the Secret Tower Discord.
Yeah, no problem. I can share that real quick.
Awesome. Great. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of creativity, I think it's time for our weekly creative cult content chronicle compiled by
The illustrious Tanya Del Rio.
Every damn week.
There you go. Thanks,
What happened to
Ted.
Bearsnake? He's not even up here.
I think he said he had to take a phone call.
Yeah.
But all good. Okay, let's jump in. We are starting right off with a banger by Castamere. Castamere is one of the most talented waifu artists in the cult, and he has finally given us maybe the most famous waifu in the Forgotten Runiverse, the seven-tailed kitsune. Man,
I thought you were going to
Castamere.
say Nosferatu.
That well, yeah, maybe so. It's a competition for sure. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised that this is the first time Castamere has done the seven-tailed kitsune. Or maybe he has, and I'm just not remembering. But yeah, regardless, beautiful piece, Castamere. Meeple Dad is unveiling some more artwork from the treasure trove. And it's beautiful. Yeah, if you guys didn't see my post a few days ago, I actually met Meeple Dad at MagicCon, which was a convention for Magic the Gathering. And man, what a time I had! It was fantastic. I got to meet a lot of the original Magic the Gathering artists.
Cool.
It was so cool. Like I saw one of my childhood heroes. It was
Amazing.
absolutely incredible. And just like the whole Magic community was there. I mean, there was probably like over 5,000 people there.
Did you play or did you just like walk the floor?
I just walked the floor, but if I wanted to play, I mean, there was literally probably 500 games happening at the time.
So fun.
But I forgot to bring my deck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and Meeple Dad was, talking about like just the history of the card game and how there's so many parallels between Magic the Gathering and what Forgotten Runes is doing. And, I don't know, maybe we should do a Wizard Wednesday just on that topic sometime.
I love that.
But yeah, it was a great time. Meeple Dad is such a great person, just in general, besides being an awesome cult member, besides being, the treasure trove creator. Yeah, I love, nothing but love for Meeple Dad. And then, yeah, Meeple Dad showed off some really amazing socks that are going to be in the treasure trove. He gave me a pair of kobold socks, even though there is a typo on the socks. And I don't think he can send them back to the printers, but the typo is kobolds are green, and I think he meant to say kobolds are yellow. So, if you get these socks, just know that it is a typo. And then Feckless Mage made a death metal t-shirt, a death metal Forgotten Runes t-shirt. uh, it's just badass. Feckless has been actually making a lot of really cool Forgotten Runes merch lately, and of course, one of those pieces is the Bread Friend, which I think is also going to be in the treasure trove. And he's also showing off some Bread Friend stickers that I think might be in the treasure trove, or maybe they're coming along with the plushies. I'm not sure. DowX Lab posted an update. Dotta, have you been seeing what DowX Lab is building?
No.
Okay, well, he shared a really cool video of like a character selection screen. I think you saw. I feel like we talked about this with you.
I've seen his like Unreal experiments where someone's like casting spells and stuff, but I didn't see this character selector until right now. This looks awesome.
Yeah. He finally got the warriors in, and props to DowX Lab for actually like rendering the materials properly.
Oh,
It,
cool.
yeah, it's always like a roll of the dice of the icosahedron if people are going to get the render correct. Sometimes they're just like really shiny, but no, he got them working perfectly. The lighting is beautiful. I mean, DowX Lab is just truly a wizard. Um, and then Daniela Illustra is continuing work on her comic. Daniela Illustra is also an every damn week kind of person. She's always got something to share. Wild Mage shared a glimpse of an upcoming commission that was funded by the Ministry of Art. And then Oro Pezart shared a really great piece of their warrior. And I just got to say, what's particularly adorable about this piece is the little blue pig. Man, anytime you can put a familiar in a piece of your artwork, then it's a win.
When 3D familiars.
Good question.
Sorry, Bear's not up here. That was channeling my inner Bearsnake. That's something he would ask, not me.
He really would, and honestly, Dotta, I would love nothing more than to model 3D familiars. But I feel like there's a few other things on my plate.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I think you're right.
And then speaking of the seven-tailed kitsune, Tanya has been continuing with Inktober every damn day this month. She has given us a beautiful inked piece of artwork. This one is particularly awesome. It's the seven-tailed kitsune. Tanya, I was actually reading the lore of your wizards, and I noticed that your wizards have a really special connection with the kitsune. I loved that. I actually am trying to squeeze it into one of the dungeon stories in the Forgotten Runiverse. So yeah, I love this particular piece. It's just beautiful. Meeple Dad continues with Riddles in the Dark. Finally, the Shadow Crystal showed up in Riddles of the Dark, a really legendary piece from the Athenaeum. Magic Monday News had Poe's producer as a special guest. And then finally, Zela Soul. I think this is the first Halloween Forgotten Runes cosplay that I've seen. Zela Soul's going as his wizard. I really hope to see a few more. I know we see some cosplay every year for Halloween of people's wizards. So huge shout out to Zela Soul for being, I think, the first one that I've seen. And I think that's it.
I think that's it. Well, folks, I'm gonna jump into the Mount Umbra battle. I think you should too.
Yes. There's still a few hours left. Collect your donuts. Oh, Wild Mage, I saw you came up. Did you wanna announce anything?
Oh, I just wanted to announce that we're gonna have Sporkley as a guest on our next show, and she is also going to read some lore, and we're putting out some casting calls. I think we have somebody covered for Elf and somebody covered for Gigas Chad, but we're still looking for potential actors or maybe even actresses to do this live loring with Dotta and Bearsnake. So
Wait,
yeah,
Wild Mage. I'm not sure I understand. So you're going to read lore, but some of the characters in the lore are me, Dota, and Bearsnake. Is that what you're saying?
yes.
Okay, Wild Mage. I will read my own part if you want, unless you're trying to roast me and you need someone to sort of clown on me.
Ooh.
Then in that case,
Yeah, whatever happened to the Magic Machine roast?
Oh, we do it just once a week. Like, so I need to sort of build them up a bit. Did you guys not? Did you guys not? Did you guys not hear this past Mondays?
Please, let's hear it now. Let's just get it over with.
Let me go real quick look it up because I have it in the notes with it is here it is. Did you hear about Nalgene briefly being in the Moron Discord? You probably didn't because his girlfriend found out first.
damn. Nalgene is the last person I would have expected you guys to roast.
I'm not smart
You know,
enough to
it's Magic
understand the
Machine
joke.
as a whole.
You'll have to explain it to me later, Elf.
Well, Wild Mage, why don't you explain the joke now?
Oh, well, apparently at one point, I guess Nalgene had his Discord open and his girlfriend saw all sorts of obscene waifus in the Moron Discord, and she was not pleased with that.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I
So,
love it.
well, I'm gonna have another roast ready this coming Monday. So yeah, be sure to check it out along with the live lore reading. So.
Hey,
Okay.
Wild Mage, give us your best shot, all right?
Oh yeah, no, I've kept a little a file where I'm trying to come up with some good ones and trying to carve like okay ones into better ones. And like I said, I'm wanting to eventually get a top 10 together and I guess drop that like as a whole sometime.
Okay. All right, thanks, man. All right, I think
Mhm.
that's it. But good show, and yeah, like Dota said, go jump into the Halloween event. There's still time to get donuts. Take a selfie with Dota and everyone else. And until then, this has been Elf Bear, Dota, Nigeria, Tad Major, Sporkly, Wild Mage, Board Elon, Jitsi, and all of the wizards of the Forgotten Runes Wizards Cult channeling out. Jin, everybody.
Bye.
It's Wizard Wednesday. It's Wizard Wednesday. Black goat elf, just a puppet too. Bearsnake by the ocean blue. It's Wizard Wednesday. It's Wizard Wednesday. Kobolds and dreams, master soul.